YouTube. So I'm out here on the Pacific Coast Highway right now. We're getting pretty close to, 3 months. We're about a week or two away from the 3-month mark. And as you can see, there's still all of this, debris alongside the highway. And there's so much more. The other day I posted a video going through, a handful of residential areas up in the Palisades. And there's really so much more. There's so much more damage than what I showed you. They are starting to make some progress, which is good, But it's taking a long time, and it's gonna be a really long time before all of this mess gets cleaned up. Show you guys a little bit of PCH. It's not like you guys haven't seen this before, but I suppose it's just another progress report. We're closely approaching the 3-month mark. You would think that the priority would be cleaning up all of the debris alongside the ocean first, just because it's really the first stuff that runs off into the ocean, right? Like, there's probably so much debris within the ocean now. However, coming up ahead, you will start to see that they have started to clean up and started to make, some pretty significant progress. All of this used to be houses, and there was way more debris in this area, but it's starting to come along slowly but surely. This is the section or the strip of beach. A lot of these houses were built in the 60s and 70s or 80s and 90s, right? A long time ago, decades ago. And when they were built, the building code was a lot different than what it is today. I don't know if you've seen, but I posted a YouTube short not too long ago, and what I was really trying to do was highlight how difficult and how challenging and how expensive and time consuming it is for people to build houses alongside the beach. In this YouTube short, I was really showing you that this company, they'd been working on the job site for over 3 years, and they have to dig 110-foot holes into the ground, and then they have to get these custom cages. They're made out of rebar, and the rebar is special rebar. It has to be coated with epoxy, so the rebar doesn't corrode from the salt water. anyways, so it's really time consuming to make those rebore cages and get the permits and get the approval with the Coastal Commission. And then you have to drill the holes, 110 foot deep holes. But before you do all of that, you have to create a barrier from the ocean so no ocean water gets into your job site. So you got to dig a giant hole. Then you got to build a wall to prevent the ocean from coming in. Then you got to dig the holes. Then you got to put the cages in. Then you got to pump the concrete. And that's just for the foundation. You know, and when I was talking to the engineer or the contractor or whatever you want to call him, I asked him how long it would take him to do something like that. And he said it's been over 3 years, and it's going to be roughly $10 million just to do the foundation. That doesn't include building the house on top of the caissons. Okay? And some of these houses will be very elaborate. You know, they will get tile floor or marble countertops imported from Switzerland or wherever, right? They hire the best architects that money can really buy, and really elaborate floor plans, you know, really high ceilings, and I don't know, it's just beautiful. But anyways, all of these houses what I'm alluding to is all of these houses that are alongside the ocean right now, they're all going to have to do that as well. All of them. So they're looking at a minimum of, and most of those houses were bigger, that burned down alongside the ocean were bigger than the house that was being built. So they're looking at a minimum of $10 million in 3 years for each one of those properties that burned down alongside the ocean. A minimum. It's probably going to be longer before those houses get rebuilt, because there's going to be a backlog, you know, of houses that need to get rebuilt. So I wanted to come through the canyon. This is going to be Los Flores, which turns into Piuma. I haven't been up here in quite some time. So this is, instead of me going through Las Virgenes Canyon, I thought I would try going through here and see how much progress they've made cleaning up the mess over here. So we're starting to move again. Most of these videos I've been recording in 4K resolution, but for whatever reason, when I upload them, they're just coming out in 1080p, which I don't really understand why, but maybe it's something on my part that I'm not doing correctly. So, but I'll get it figured out. When Las Virgenes was closed, and I would drive through this area, and it was right after it had rained, were some pretty bad mudslides in this area. So it's nice to see that all of the mud is gone for the most part. Finally, the sun is starting to come out. I was getting pretty tired of being wet and cold. You know, and when I say wet and cold, I mean 75 and drizzling. We don't really get wet and cold that bad in Southern California. But it does have a tendency to bring me down because I'm not really accustomed to it. I really don't like the cold weather. I don't like when my body feels shriveled up and tight. I don't like it. I'd rather be on a beach and getting a suntan with a beautiful woman. That sounds way better. Drinking a coconut. Some people like the cold weather though. They like feeling like a little popsicle. I'm gonna go ahead and pass on that. I'll take a nice big booty Brazilian and a coconut and a tropical beach. Sounds a lot better to me. So anyways, if we take this canyon road up, it takes us to that fire station on top of the hill. Bad mudslide over here to the left. Maybe I'll zoom out. Could you imagine what it must have been like when this whole entire canyon was on fire? It's really a massive canyon. Starting to see, well, I'm starting to see a lot of these signs being posted all throughout Santa Monica, Malibu, Pacific Palisades. These signs are basically companies that are advertising how they can help dealing with insurance companies. And it makes you wonder, well, it makes me wonder why that is. Why are companies going around and putting these signs up everywhere? It leads me to believe that insurance companies are probably giving people a hard time when it comes to filing claims. And they're probably trying to lowball people pretty significantly. Which really makes sense when you think about it. You know, that's their job. Their job is to lowball you as much as they can. Hopefully they can get you to accept a check and be done with it. And I bet that's happening a lot. And a lot of people are desperate. They need cash. They need money. Now, I don't know if that's factual or not. I'm just speculating. Or maybe these companies that are posting up these signs, maybe they're just trying to get in on the action. Maybe these companies just see an opportunity to exploit the insurance company. I'm not sure. I guess you could look at the coin from both sides. These companies are there to help victims get the full amount from the insurance company. But then again, these companies could be just trying to exploit the situation and take full advantage of these insurance companies. I don't know. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens over the next couple of years within the insurance industry in California in particular. We all know that there were many insurance companies pulling out of certain regions throughout California, whether it's coastal communities or communities that are on the fire line. You know, there's another topic that I wanted to talk about. One of my subscribers had asked me if I knew, or if we knew, what the actual cause of the fires were. And my response to that comment was, you know, I don't really know. I don't know the answer to that question. And I think that people are a bit hesitant to say who is exactly responsible for the start or the cause of the fire, because I'm not sure that it's anyone knows 100% certainty just yet. And if they do, you know, somebody's going to be liable. And right now, nobody wants to really take responsibility for the largest let's see, how do I what's the correct words to use here? I don't know if it's the largest fire, but it's the largest amount of damage done by a fire in American history, right? Like billions of dollars worth of damage in this fire. So I don't know how you would phrase that, but let's just say it was the worst fire in American history from a financial and economical standpoint. The most expensive wildfire. And I don't think anyone is raising their hand to take responsibility for that one. And I'm sure, there's going to be lawsuits and trials for decades to come. The insurance company is going to get sued. The Department of Water and Power is going to get sued. The fire department is going to get sued. Everyone's getting sued. The city, the state, everyone's getting sued.